dangerous.
Thank you very much. I think Eric has a different opinion about that. So Eric, over to you.
Okay. Okay, Derek has a point, but we shouldn't say that that's the same story for everyone. If you attend weddings, someone can tell you, I met my wife at campus. So just because a few people are going the wrong way, doesn't mean that the whole heart is going the wrong way. Now the point is, how do we make people do the right thing while dating? You see, we are students, but we are very ignorant. Like most girls think anyone who says I love you loves them. And that's why people stay in toxic relationships. Now with knowledge that a toxic relationship is like this, actually toxic people know very well that majority of the people are dumb, don't know what they want. And they use that advantage to over them. So I think relationships are necessary, and it's, as I said, relationship, it's like a role play. Because you have to act something before you go in the real thing. Let's say if you date the wrong person for some time, imagine if you reach on the marriage day and you're just marrying the person, you never met them, and you find it they're a toxic person. But with relationship, you can see now this is a toxic, this is what, and you can start differentiating yourself from everything that's happening. So relationship are necessary from learning, differentiating, and then role play towards marriage. Thank you.
Okay, so relationships, role play towards marriage. Okay, Savia, Arinda, I'm sure you are going to disagree with Eric, but just to be specific, why do you think, okay, is there a problem with the relationships we have in campus? And if yes, how does that affect our mental well-being for both parties?
Okay, yeah. I think for most of the campus population, there is a very big problem with the relationships that we have. Is that when you realize most of what those that are in support have been saying, there is that sort of expectation that you see when you're at campus, you therefore have to have a relationship, because after campus you have to have a specific partner for marriage. But, and I think that is why the relationships in the first place become a problem, because we do not take time to study who we are with. We do not take time to analyze the people that we are with. We just go with the flow that since everyone is doing this, and since everyone has to do this, therefore I also have to be in a relationship. And I think that fundamentally is wrong, and that is the reason why we have mental health issues. Because if you go into a relationship, you have specific expectations. But if you enter that relationship when you shouldn't have entered the relationship, you realize that that toxicity therefore starts to appear. And that's why people get those challenges. And that's why I think fundamentally that most of the relationships that are at campus are a little bit, have issues. In as much as some people might actually go ahead and get partners from campus and all that, yes, those things exist, but largely right now, it is not how these people are saying it, yeah.
Okay, before you leave, just one question. Are you single?
Yes, I am.
It's actually wonderful that we have university students that are single. So for those of us that are in relationship, you should consider breaking up. Just joking. So over to Grace. Grace, we see that relationships, especially the ones that we are talking about, take two people, yes? That is female and male. It simply means most of them will have a different mindset when getting into those relationships. Critically characterize for us or give us that understanding of such a mindset from both the male and the female and the types of relationships they have and how that ends up affecting their mental health.
Okay, thank you for identifying that these guys actually have different agenda. Number one, are the females. We're all about money. We're all about fancy. Here at campus, actually, I'm telling you, I'll first disagree with Ashley, where she says that we need to survey in order to get that experience. When you fail this one, you jump from it, you go into another one. But of which you fail to remember that as you jump from one, you've not actually even informed your partner that I'm really tired of you. Some of us actually break up with boyfriends, but we go in another relationship, but still now try to communicate with the other boyfriends. It means that when you're in dark and you're the only two, what will happen? What will happen? It means now the thing of cheating will come in, which is going to affect your mind, and when your boyfriend now gets to know, things also again you break up, and the cycle continues. Going back to what the female need, we are talking the truthful part of it. Girls of this time, if you don't make her a birthday party, you're not a good boyfriend. You don't buy me a nice outfit, which is on, you're not a good boyfriend. And to the boys, it's all about sex. Now, how do boys benefit in me, Grace, having a relationship with you, David? We are not actually partner or traders that now I'm having this item, I'm selling it to you for profit. For you, all about is I will invest in actually Grace, not only Grace, but also Ashley. What I want is to test how is Grace's blood and how is Ashley's. If Grace is a Mutoro, what does Ashley, who is a Muganda? This is what campuses do. And of which you forget that when you're with Grace, you'll get that shame that now, how will Ashley look at me? You're now creating that anxiety. You're trying now to panic. Now, oh my God, if Ashley sees me with Grace, then things are over between us because we have different personalities. I find you with a guy or I find you with another girl, it's over between us. I will not ask more questions because if you're once in a side part of it, you're David and Ashley, what are you doing in the dark? I'm not stupid. So if you really think that these relationships in campus are really there as how they're trying to describe it for us that we need to be there, it's a wastage of time. Wastage of time. There is no relationship that should be at campus. They're all unhealthy.
Okay, thank you very much. Things are getting hot here. Are you guys feeling it? Before we continue, I want to just give a shout out to every member of the Kyambogo University Debate Society. Wherever you are, just kindly wave for us so that these people know who you are. Just wave for us. Yeah, and if you want to be a part of the Debate Society, feel free to contact any of these people because we are really waiting to see more students of the great Kyambogo to join us and represent the country and also be a part of this wonderful experience. Okay, moving on. That was just a short commercial break. Moving on, can we agree, all of us, that most, and I say most, not all, most campus relationships are toxic. And the toxicity is centered around one, cheating, which may not technically be cheating, breakups and the effect they have on us, but thirdly, reaching a point where you love or like, in quotes, two different individuals. And because the latter is better than the former, then the whole thing becomes so toxic. Now, we're not going to dwell so much on that. The question is, how do you help? How would you help individuals, either from a personal point of view or how you dealt with it, or how would you help these individuals who have actually gone through this rough relationship? For those of us that are encouraging this relationship, would you encourage them to go in for another? Okay, and for us that are saying no, wouldn't you encourage them? How would you best help these individuals to ensure that their mental health is actually something they put number one over everything? Starting with you, Eric, then we'll go like this in just a minute.
To me, a toxic relationship is one where someone feels misunderstood, unsupported, drained in any way, or feels their well-being is under attack. Now, you need to be aware that toxic relationships appear in different ways. One can be that two people are toxic to each other. Let's say my behavior is toxic towards the other one. It may be I'm unsupporting and make their self-esteem low or what. Or it can be situations that are making the relationship toxic. So this makes you know that two good people can be toxic to each other when situations align together. So the point is, the reason why I'm supporting relationship is this. Yeah? This matters not only appear in relationship. It can appear in marriage. It can appear anywhere. But a person needs to know how to identify that the situation is toxic. And that's not done by magic in marriage. So that people discouraging relationship are like saying we should not use a knife because it's sharp. You should know how to use a sharp knife. One of my good lecturers taught me that. You should know how to use a sharp knife. So by this, you should learn that a toxic relationship will exist, but you need to know, it's first of all, to fight a toxic relationship, you need to be self-aware. You need to know what you want. When you know what you want, you can't be manipulated in any way. That means you look for what you want in the public. And when you get what you want, and you get a partner who wants what you want, it's very hard for that relationship to be toxic, and you'll also be willing to work on the situations that might end up making the relationship more toxic.
Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Ashley.
Thank you, David. First of all, I'd like to disagree. You said most campus relationships are toxic. I don't think that is true. In some circumstances, yes. But then, how would you best help and advise individuals that have suffered from cheating, breakups, and issues like that? I think at the end of the day, these issues do not stop, whether you're in university, whether you are out of university. You're going to enter into a relationship at some point, maybe. Then at some point, you may find someone who may actually be toxic and unhealthy for you. It is not limited to university life. We are just advising that you need this experience. Well, if you can get it, yes. There is a reason why they tell us to listen to our elders. The assumption is that they have gone through many of these experiences and that they have learned from them. Because at the end of the day, if today you've driven on a bad road and tomorrow you come on that same bad road, the chances of you driving recklessly are very, very, very low. Because you learn from driving on that bad road. You see that? Compared to your first time going onto that bad road, and it is your marriage. I would actually want to disclose, I grew up with this mindset of, I'm never going to enter a relationship, I'm going to study, finish university, then after university, I'll get a boyfriend and we'll get married. That was the mindset I had. Until my English teacher of senior 4 came to class and advised me. She said, we need to gain the experience. Because you may be 30, your first time in a relationship, you are actually married, then you find out that your husband presses toothpaste in a way that annoys you. I recently found out some people, when you press toothpaste from the middle, they find it irritating. It's those small things, that actually, which you may not know if you've never been in a relationship. You actually see that. So that's why it's actually very, very, very important to dive into these relationships, see what you can learn. It could help you grow. For those who have suffered, I would advise them, go to the counselor. Falling down is inevitable in any aspect of life. The point is rising up, learning from your mistakes, and improving so that the next time you retry that, you're a better person. You handle it in a better way.
Okay, thank you very much, Ashley. To the others, Derek.
Okay, I would firstly say try so much as a campus student not to learn from your own experience, like your own. Try so much to learn from other people's experiences because trust me, when you learn from other people's experiences, it's better than learning from your own because you are trying to avoid a lot of mental health challenges. Then I want to be very brief on this. In summary, relationships, you should be, first of all, before you go to a relationship, you should be comfortable being alone. I repeat, be comfortable being alone. Yes. And when you are alone, when you feel it's time, yes, there's time for everything. The time will come, and surely factors will indicate that, yes, a relationship, you are ready for it. But without that, trust me, you are diving into a lake or an ocean that you'll never leave. Thank you.
Okay, Grace.
Moderator, I always give this saying to myself. If you really cannot afford to renew what you started, better not start it. If you think you're going to survey, if you think you really want that experience to know maybe how your partner might be, the toothpaste, of course. But if you know you cannot correct your mistake, don't do it. Don't do that thing that will make you do that mistake. Don't enter into a relationship that you cannot sustain. You're going to kill yourself. And of which we are here to say no to suicide. We have to get renewed hope. I know most of us, we are here, but yesterday they chucked you. Today in the morning, your boyfriend cheated on you. Why are you giving yourself a problem with your mind? Read your books. Do what brought you at campus. You have already an academic problem. Now you have a relationship problem. Now how are you going to get to that too? Don't tell us that we need to learn from experience. Like, because we are in a relationship, we'll know how to handle our men in future. No. We've seen our parents now. Did they first have to go in those young relationships? But they have given us what we want. No. If it is a relationship, be ready. Be knowing that you have to be open. There is no cheating. There is no saying that now I'm a girl, it's all about maybe getting fancy, maybe getting money. You can also, as a girl, provide to your guy, you know. You as a boy, don't go into a relationship and think that it is all about sex. Don't think I'm a toy that you're going to be using every day. Wow. My dear, don't make that grave mistake that is going to spoil what God has prepared you on table. It's rather stay single, do what you want, develop yourself, then go to get your men, get your female, whatever, but no unhealthy relationship in the university.
Thank you very much. Before I get to Xavier, I want him to answer something technical. I mean, how many of us are single in the house? Have you died? How many of us are in relationships? Have you died? Thank you very much. Xavier. So before you answer, I want you to answer a very technical question. Now, we realize that after breakups or cheating, etc., among campusers, what often happens is that, you know, even the best of friends before, one asked the other out, they used to talk, they used to communicate. Once the relationship is done, they actually become enemies. How best would you encourage such people, because we still need each other? Would you encourage them not to just talk to their exes, or would you encourage them to, be around, provided there's an opportunity for them to be hurt again?
I think this goes back to what I said at first, that most of us go into campus relationships just because that's what everyone is doing. Not because these people, we've gotten used to them and these are our friends in the very first place. There's a high possibility that if this person was your friend in the very first place, even when the intimate relationship is done, you're likely to still talk to them. But there's a less likelihood that once you didn't really get to know this person first, once the relationship is done, you really don't want to see them ever again. So, and then when you ask the question of those in relationships and those without relationships, I think I have one thing to say here, is that statistics say that it is people that are in relationships, healthy relationships, are less likely going to suffer from mental illnesses. That is true. Yes, but people that are single are less likely going to suffer from mental illnesses than people that are in unhappy relationships. So I think it is better for you to assess whatever you're getting into, and that will help you understand whether the relationship will actually work out.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, thank you very much. Panelists, will get back to you in a minute to give us your closing remarks. At this particular point, I want to open the engagement to the audience. Now, this is what we are going to do. You are going to ask a particular question or a submission in not more than a minute, directed to each one of these panelists. You have heard them speak, and surely I know you want to ask them particular questions. I don't know if there's... Okay, I'll just take 2 questions, then we'll see. Yes, Mr. Mann. And 2, yes. For now. I don't know, do they have to speak from there? Or, okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Grace. Hope you have gotten that question. Before you answer it, I'll take him. I'll repeat it for you. Liz. Okay. 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 Thank you very much. At the end of the day, we have not yet gotten your question. But anyway, moving forward. Because of the time factor, I will just take one more. Then the panelists will give their closing remarks in answering the question. Yes, sir. Okay, a female. Any female around? Okay. Honorable Vice President.
Thank you so much. Mine ain't a question, but it's a submission. Actually, Rapid Grace, I love everything that you've mentioned. Girls, boys, this is reality. It's not actually disagreeing with other gentlemen about the life and everything. Members, let's listen to what Grace has said. Most of the things we do, you do at campus, these are premature things. You're just babies who have added some years, and then you're all messing up. She's actually very, very right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Guys, I know we have a lot of questions, but because of time, I'll just have, if you have been asked a question, you just give us your closing remark in just 1 minute and answer that question. I think, Grace, you have that question.
Yeah.
We'll start with you in a minute, then.
Okay, thank you. I heard of a knife. But my dear, when that knife cuts you, you know you ooze blood, right? The blood you ooze, getting to the medical care, it costs you. The wound pains you. But it is better if you took care when you were using that knife. Please and please. He's talking about learning from self-experience. You can end up creating what we call unhealthy mentality. I don't even know how to describe it, but you're going to get confused. You're going to look for ways how to get it out. Some of us do not love approaching counselors, and some of us do not love being open. Once you say that you're going to use that knife, after chopping you, maybe you'll go under the bed, you'll not go for treatment.
Okay.
When it reaches your heart, then it's when you realize now, your eyes open, that I would not have done it. I would not have used it.
Okay, thank you.
If there is not, if you really do not want to, not to regret, then first avoid some things, such as explained to you. We are these babies that have just added a few age